bad foreign policy and bad economic policy. Today, there's a plant in Iowa, Whirlpool plant, makes household appliances, let off 651 workers. So if there's some renaissance in manufacturing, it's not happening. Why is that happening in Iowa? Consumer demand is down, people are depressed economically, and now people are losing manufacturing jobs. It's also bad foreign policy because allies that were going to buy and purchase defense equipment from the United States are now going to make it in Europe. So we're actually going to, this nirvana, this liberation day of manufacturing jobs coming back to America, you have proof positive that it's not going to happen. And then to add insult to injury, all these cuts in America's research and development, in its technology, its scientific advantage, that was the envy of the United States around the world. And we're destroying it also here. So there's a short-term pain that is going to be catastrophic with the tariffs, and a long-term pain where you're destroying the economic kind of vitality of America based around research and development in the science and tech area.
Does it surprise you that the president, who at least in the past has been very focused on the stock market, used it as a barometer, as a cudgel against administrations he didn't like and disagreed with, doesn't seem concerned about the economic policy, the effect his economic policy is now having on financial markets, not to mention, people's savings?
Donald Trump may not understand the impact of his tariffs on people's pocketbooks, but the public understands its impact, which is why consumer sentiment is down, why they've rejected the tariffs, and they watch their 401ks go down. They get it. He doesn't get it. They actually understand it. So I will tell you this. If you had asked me 3 months ago, prior to him getting sworn in, the American people understand the tariffs, I have been very, very pleasantly surprised how quickly. They're not graduates of Harvard's economics school, but they understand how the tariffs have affected their own economic livelihood in a very viscerally negative way. They get it, and that's why they rejected it.
I want to ask you about the elections last night. Republicans obviously won both special congressional elections in Florida last night, perhaps not as big margins as they'd had, but the counter to that, it was an election that President Trump was actually in. Democrats did well in Wisconsin, the Supreme Court race. What stood out to you? Is there a message there?
There's two things that stand out. One is in Wisconsin, Democrats ran against Elon Musk and Republicans ran with Donald Trump, and both frickin' frack lost. Elon Musk and Donald Trump. And the turnout for Democrats in Wisconsin was not just Madison and Milwaukee. It's a statewide victory. Now, the second thing that was very interesting to me, if you go to the district where Pensacola is based, where Getz used to be the congressman, in Escambia County, Donald Trump won it by 19 points. The Democrat won it by 3. Democrats haven't won that county in a federal election going back multiple decades. It has a 14% active duty and veterans community, more than double the national numbers. And it went Democrat. Now, if you had told me Democrats were going to outperform in rural part of Wisconsin and in a veterans and active duty centered county, have a 22-point swing away from the Republicans, I would never say that's possible on November 8th, 2024. I will just say right now in the Republican caucus in Congress, you're in a Republican in a district that Kamala Harris won, you got a target on your back. They are really nervous now because they can hear the the sound of the foot now coming and the foot traffic for their district.
Just finally on the signal kerfuffle, the White House clearly wanted this to be over now. National Security Advisor Mike Waltz turned out he used Signal to discuss sensitive matters before. Politico's reporting that they used that app to talk about up to 20 different crises around the world. Also using a Gmail account, according to other reporting. Do you think his position is tenable?
Well, no. I think if I was National Security Advisor Waltz, you have 4 people talking on record from the White House with knowledge. Next time you go to a meal, get a food taster. That's a bad sign for you if 4 people inside are leaking on you. Second, you have a national security risk. You know that China, Russia, and Iran are trying to get in our systems. The fact that you're so cavalier, you have all these conversations. I would also say, if you look at in the first Signal scandal, Secretary of Defense Hegseth's document what he types, it's clear he wasn't sitting in a computer typing that. He was taking off of another Signal chat group and cut and pasting on that one. This is a problem massively throughout this administration. They're being cavalier with American security, and they're being cavalier with the lives of men and women who they're tasking with the responsibility to secure America.
Investor Ron Manuel, thanks for your time tonight. Appreciate it.
Thank you.